Hi. Unfortunately, you might recognize these two scenarios if you are in usually middle to especially senior management, senior leadership. Perhaps you think to yourself, perhaps holding your head in your hands and think, why am I getting involved with these silly things that are going on? Why am I being dragged into this conversation? Why have I got to make a decision on something which, to be honest, is a bit trivial? Have you ever had that situation where you think, why haven't my team just made a decision and got on with it? So this happens a lot. I see this, and my clients come to me with this one a lot. They said, I'm just so frustrated. I spent all my time being involved in stuff that is wasting my time. The other one is you're just sort of not enjoying your work. You're not enjoying being a senior manager or director or C-suite because you're not really using the skills that you should be using. So a leader, and I was speaking to a client this afternoon, they're not really leading because they are getting involved in too low-level tactical or operational tasks. And we were talking about why that happened was because they just didn't have anybody who was in the right level making those levels of decisions. So they get sucked down into it. They didn't have the people supporting them to allow them to be free to do their level of work, their level of thinking. And this happens a hell of a lot. And it's a very easy thing to happen when people come to you and just say, I just need you to make a decision on this. Because it's easier to make the decision very quickly and tell someone what to do than it is to say, let me show you how to make that decision. Because it takes time, it takes repetition, you've got to check they make the right decision. And then you might have to reinforce that a few more times. So we get in this trap of often what happens is as we move up the levels, we end up taking the work from lower levels to higher levels. And you're thinking, why am I actually managing all these different levels of the business? And this goes right up to being a CEO as well. And the skill of being able to let go of lower level work is to actually make sure you have people at this level who know how to take it on. But when you're in the weeds and when you're working hard and there's fast making decisions, need to be made, that could be tricky to do. But if you don't, you lose your time and then people get stressed out. You're spending way too many hours working, but way too many hours doing the wrong work. So this is an example of a client who literally came to me with this. And they were going to leave. They were very high up in their organisation. And what they just said, I'm burnt out, I'm fed up, I'm not enjoying myself. But they were in the second scenario where they didn't really know why. And when we mapped out what they should be doing, what they're really good at, what they love doing, they love innovating products. That's what they were really good at, innovating products. But what they were doing was a load of low-level, everyday managerial things. And now they need to get done, but not done by that person. And as soon as we mapped it out on using the process that I use, it was so clear to them, they were just looking at this very simple A4 piece of paper, and it takes about 10 minutes. And it was like a revelation. It's no wonder I'm not enjoying myself, because I'm not actually using my skills. I'm not using my brain. I'm bored. I'm frustrated. And it was just like a massive aha moment. So they suddenly realized that they were doing the wrong job. And the interesting thing for the company was they were paid at this level, but they were doing the job of someone who should be paid several, I'll do the numbers, probably 20,000, 30,000 pounds less. So they were being overpaid by 20 or 30,000 pounds if I'm working it out right. So if you think about it, they were paid to be at this level, they were doing a job at this level, so they were not enjoying themselves. The company was paying way too much because they weren't getting this person at this level. And as soon as it happened, we went straight into, so how can we fix it? So the first thing to do is identify the problem, which is if you keep saying to yourself, I'm doing too low a level of decision making. That's the first indicator. The second one is I'm just not enjoying this, but I'm not quite sure why. This was like my client, they just couldn't work it out. As soon as we went through the process I use for working out when they're at their best and what they're actually doing now, it's very evident. And the interesting thing is we then looked at their team and we found that a lot of their team were not working at their true level. And there were people within their team who could start taking over those low-level managerial responsibilities almost immediately. And it was within a couple of weeks they came back and said, I've completely changed my work, what I'm doing. Other people have now taken that on. They're happier because they're enjoying actually having that extra responsibility. And I've freed up 50 to 60% of their time to do this level of work. It can be that quick. So they're the two clues, really. Are you just holding your head in your hands going, I'm trying to get on with my stuff and you just drag me back in? I think that was in a film, wasn't it? They keep pulling me back. So they keep pulling them back into low level stuff. And if you're just not really happy because you know something's wrong, but you can't work out why, then get in touch. We love to fix this. So we're really good at diagnosing what the problem is, and then the solution can come really fast. And this client, within a couple of weeks, they massively changed how they work. And here's the interesting thing. They're still there years later. They're still there. So the company nearly lost a really good person. They thought they needed to go somewhere else, which they would have done if they'd stayed there because they were just really unhappy. So the company won, they won, and funnily enough, their team won as well. So making sure that everybody's doing what they should be doing at the right level doesn't take long to diagnose. Actually, it doesn't take long to fix. But most people carry on like this and they don't know, one, what the problem is, or two, what it needs to happen to fix it. So if that's you, if you're recognising this, please get in touch. Click on whatever link is around to click on and let's have a call. And this happens at all different levels. And if you're at a high level and you're getting dragged down, you're paying people to do this job for you and they're not. So just think of the money that you're paying in your salaries and they're not doing what they're meant to do. Let's work out why it's not happening and then let's get it fixed, because I promise you it's definitely worth doing. Anyway, I hope this has been useful to you. Thanks for your time. And I'll see you in another video. Or just give us a call and let's get it sorted. Thanks for your time, and I hope to speak to you soon.